Hello and welcome to I think it's actually episode 7 of Glued Hand Hobbyings, Hobby Hang. I know with all of some people here possibly, glad you can make it. Chime off in the comments, let us know what you're working on today. I'm just continuing to work on this truck. According to one of my friends, uh, this is the hardest part of making a truck. It is the making the bed. So, kind of freaked out by this. Uh, Been a while since I've had an episode because of like crazy life events. Had a flat, apparently pretty common, but I got to hang out with my car for 6 hours waiting for a tow truck. That was great. A whole lot of fun. Um, yeah. I also drove from Connecticut to Michigan, which actually isn't that bad of a drive. So, with the truck here, we did the frame last episode, and we're going to be putting the engine and the truck bed on. Um, Weirdly enough, unlike a lot of the GW sprues, this one does not have any numbers on it. It's also the last orc model that I have unbuilt. And it's far too humid to do any priming right now, at least in my neck of the woods. So I think next week we'll probably be moving on to some Space Marine stuff. So, in the meantime, I'm just got to find these panels. What's kind of crazy to me about this model is this really neat, kind of like almost unseen detail where the bottom of the engine, this little point here, actually connects to the drive shaft of the truck to, in theory, push the wheels along, which is like a detail that, unless you flip it upside down and really look at it, you're not going to notice. But I think it's really cool. It's a nice little attention to detail sort of thing that you don't see in a lot of places. So I think that's sweet. Which way is forward? Oh boy. This sprue we're gonna lop off. What's in the hobby backlog? Or are you just doing painting? Nerdlings. Some kill team to paint symbol, including the photos, fishermen. Are you getting into uh regular Marines, or are you gonna always be chaos for life? Go with Lamenters. Blood Ravens are mainstream. They got a video game. File this bad boy down. I'll file it down. Then we're gonna put the paint on the wrong side of the sprue to really get the whole "I don't know what I'm doing" thing across. Fudge. I think so. David posted earlier like that $250 for a Lancer kit. That's wild. Like I obnoxiously think the Lancer is a fantastic model and is really, good and strong and everything. But even I'm like, hey man, maybe not. This was the big clarification weekend for 10th edition for the people who decide to watch this in the future. I got 13 impressions on my last video. Yeah, those numbers are terrible if I cared. My wife was telling me about a blog post she was reading. I think it was an AMIDSL, but I don't remember specifically what it was. But it was this guy who really wanted to be a professional streamer, and he quit his job and everything, and he was only streaming, like that was his only source of income, and he only got like 2 or 3 people per stream, and he streamed for like 13 hours a day every day. He did it for like 6 years. And that's gotta be heartbreaking, Like, I'm sad when I don't get in, like, when my friends are on here and like no one else cares. That's what it is. But like, I can't imagine like really, really being into it and then not getting anything. I'm gonna fix the camera a little bit. Okay. So now we gotta add some sort of, looks like the top of a Jeep book thingy. According to a different YouTube video I saw, you always want to like really sand down where the sprue like hit the joints and connected, because otherwise something bad will happen. I don't know what something that is, but it's bad. Trust me. I'm a content creator now. So with these kind of joints getting put in here, what's kind of weird about this is just the way the sprues are lined up. You have kind of a flat edge, really terrible camera for this, a flat edge here that links up to the flat edge along the bottom of this top panel. And the only indication you have of where to put it is this little tiny cutout L right here that kind of snaps it into place. And I'm not sure how old this kit is, but it is far, far below what I've come to expect from GW. I imagine it's pretty old for what it's worth. But because the rest of GW stuff has been like absolutely top notch. I've absolutely been completely floored about it compared to other kind of miniature games that I've done before. Spoken about that at length, at very boring length. But, it's always interesting, like having talked to like you, Don, and like Josh and stuff, where it's just like, oh, the bad old days, and just talking about how things were so crazy back, you know, 20, 30 years ago, and like how much better they are now. It's like, yeah, that sounds like a real mess. How are these supposed to go on? that, apparently. Oh, no. Okay, let's give that a second to cure. Yeah, I bet. I mean, I remember the one of the first days I saw contrast paints being used. Um, we were playing a War Machine game, and someone just sat down and painted a full unit of Fogo Space Marines in like 2 hours, just doing one Marine at a time, rotating the model, then doing the next little bit, rotating the model, doing the next little bit, so on and so forth. And they knocked it out in like 2-3 hours maybe. No. Okay. Apparently this bit here is just not going to be a cooperative piece. Let that chill for a minute. Have any of the rules for the new NID stuff come out, or has it all been pretty quiet on that front? I imagine it's been pretty quiet. They just did that whole thing, and then Tent Dead has gotten a pretty spicy reception from what I've been reading online. Pretty shocking. You think it's gonna be the Codex? Yeah, makes sense. I was being a Space Marine player. I say that like I've played a game in the last year. I was quite happy that they retired a bunch of the Firstborn stuff. I like it too. Like I played a couple of games solitaire, but just having read like the German reaction, for instance, what a mess, you know. And like I get there were problems. I'm not going to deny that there weren't problems. There were definitely problems. But like some of the reactions to it are just like, "Oh my dog, cool your jets." I feel like you have a really clean hobby area where I just have like random sprues lying everywhere. Very orderly, very respectful hobbying. Okay, where the hell is this piece? There's this part of it. Oh, there's that. Okay. One of the frustrating things with this kind of like unlabeled sprue is that I just have to be like, you know what? I think this is right. That looks good. That looks right. And then just hope. I do like how a lot of the orc stuff kind of ends up looking like an orc face. That's fun to me. So we have this part facing inward. This is going up top. So we're getting yet another little kind of hangy bit. Okay. Flub number 2, trying to glue the wrong bits together. Okay, we're just going to sit and let this cure for a minute. This is going to take a little bit of time. Oh. Okay. Well, that's curing. I'm just going to go ahead and file this down a little bit. Okay. My childlike patience has already worn out. Bazinga! Check it out. I got a little face. Little face from my orc truck. Ah! We're okay. Nope, not now we're not. Okay, let's just give that a minute. You know, when I first started making models, who knows how many years ago, I would never look at the directions. You know, I would do them like step by step. I wouldn't like go through them at the beginning. I could work on the cat while it cures. You're so smart. Actually, no, I can't. The cab attaches to the back of this, and then it kind of gets built up as a plate. But I can put the engine in. I can put the engine in. That's something. Right. Now our badass roadster's got an engine. Nothing can stop us. except for, of course, the finality of death. See if we can get the radiator and plate on. Oh no, I've lost a tiny plastic piece. Oh, there it is. I have now found a tiny plastic piece. Man, before you had like these like instant curing like plastic glues, this must have been a nightmare to try and do. To get one tiny almost contact-free point. Just that little bit of plastic on the side there to stick. Fudge nuggets. Already broke it. The 90s must have been awful. Super glue plus baking soda? I can't even begin to fathom what that means. I'm afraid of it. Okay, let's get this very carefully fitted on. Okay, nice. Nice, nice, nice. This should be cured by now. Let's get this attached. We're going to sand down this part a little bit here. Liquid super glue on it, hold it together, and sprinkle it with baking soda. Instant bond. Yeah, I can imagine it would look and get pretty messy. How do you fit this dumb thing? Let's try this again. Sand down. Brother. Okay. I might play the game where I just hold it here for 5 minutes. Riveting stuff for a live stream that is already poorly shot. It's just me holding this here. No wonder I have a lifetime total of 57 impressions because people are just so impressed. I kind of think about it sometimes. Like, I need to get one of those face reaction shots in the video to be like, whoa, how crazy is that? And if I really just want to give up on life, I could do that, but like Photoshop Mr. Beast's head next to mine and be like, oh, I hung out with Mr. Beast. And I bet I get like a bunch of clicks and a couple of cease and desists, but I'll get those clicks. Ta-da! So now we're just going to give everything a couple more minutes to cure. Is there any like non-active YouTubers that I could totally bone? Like, is Ninja still around? I remember he was a thing once upon a time. What about that, my God, what's it called? The baby shark thing. I could build a model of baby shark. They might not C&D me. They'll almost certainly C&D me. Still a thing. That's good. My wife was really into this Korean couple YouTuber when she was in college. Oh man, I wish I could remember what they were called. They recently got divorced, which was kind of devastating to my wife. It's how she got into K-pop and then eventually got me into K-pop. I'm not like the biggest K-pop guy on the planet. Like, I enjoy a couple of good K-pop bops. Big Bang, which features oh, uh, has a song called "Fantastic Baby" that includes a part where a astronaut gets into a rap battle with a cowboy, and you don't see that anywhere. I can say with absolute certainty that that is the only context in which I've seen an astronaut get into a rap battle with a cowboy. One of the really cool things about K-pop, in my opinion, the only opinion that matters because it is my show, is man, how the hell is this supposed to go together? Is like how much of it just kind of works on vibes, you know? Like, whoa, okay. Guess that needs more time to cure. Like they have like plots, I think, inside the music videos. Music videos also matter a lot more for K-pop than they do in America. But like they have plots sometimes, I think. I don't speak Korean. But like I can print out the lyrics. I can watch things. I can learn. I have what's it called? Like reading skills or some shit. Um where I read Sometimes I run across words I don't know, and then I have to Google them, like Abercrombie and Fitch. I wonder if Abercrombie and Fitch is still around. When I was a kid, Abercrombie and Fitch was the place to go if you wanted to prove that you were a preppy wanker. Imagine it still kind of is. Okay, let's try this again. I'm going to sand off the previous layer of glue because that clearly was not working. Try this again. All right, let's give this another go. You know, Don, I'm not going to call you old. When can you remember like plastic models being introduced? When did it stop being metal? Yeah, I didn't. You're still my friend. I don't want to call you old. I feel like old's pejorative. You know, well, I've done this for 3 months and I have a grand total of like 7 episodes. Um, you come to every single one of these. You spend an hour hearing me ramble off camera incoherently. I appreciate that. So you're a good friend. I'm not going to call you old. You're geriatric. Much nicer. But do you remember when they started introducing plastic models? That's pretty fascinating to me that there was this time, because all I've ever known is plastic models. That there would be a time before them is just so odd, right? Sort of like how Neuromancer doesn't really make sense because no one has a cell phone in Neuromancer. Spoilers for Neuromancer: there are no cell phones in Neuromancer. Great book, by the way. You should read it if you don't know what I'm talking about. Origin of Cyberpunk. But in it, there are no cell phones. And it just is one thing that's always just super weird to me. And that at no point does anyone suggest, hey, maybe we should call them on our cell phones. How the heck are you supposed to fit this thing on? Just sit down on top? That would feel right. I don't know, it fits in all the grooves. Okay. Yeah, this is actually starting to take shape. This looks like an actual truck. Huh. So is everything like pewter, or did they make it out of like cast iron, bronze, so everything weighed like a ton? You could whip it at someone's head and give them a concussion. I feel like there was white metal, so like phosphorus. That's right. I have chemistry jokes today. Lead? The original models had lead in the mix. I am now concerned about John's Grey Knights, which I think are from that first run. Like, aren't they from 90? Oh wow. Yeah, that's definitely getting thrown into the chat tonight. I wonder if Dan would know anything about that. I feel like Dan's not quite that old. Actually, Dan's only like 3 or 4 years older than me. Josh would be the one to ask. Yeah, I'll shoot that into the official chat. Yeah, I remember when I played not orcs, when I played trolls in second ed, tail end of second ed apparently, and into third edition of War Machine. Well, I guess this is just going to be how it is because this is not going to work. I remember carrying around trolls, and they had like a couple. I had like a couple metal units, and that thing was so heavy. And you know, my army was still like 50% plastic at minimum, 50%, probably more than that. Um, so I just can't imagine hulking all that stuff around back then. Sounds awful. Sounds like 1 out of 5 stars. Would not recommend. The 70s do seem like a very lead era. Yeah, that's one of the things that's kind of frustrated me, and why I'm happy that they're retiring a lot of the old um, Space Marine models. Is like I have nothing against their rules, and I'm even okay with like the Predator tanks and stuff, where it's like it still looks a little like they're like a little too boxy, right? But like every time I see a tactical Marine on the table next to like an intercessor or something, they're just like they just look. It looks odd being on this. Like the army looks incongruous because of it. Doesn't look like it's touching any glue, which does not seem like it should be possible. My dog has come to say hello. One second. the even most thrilling part of a live stream when I have to step away because my dog found some chocolate. Okay, what is this thing supposed to go on? Needs to drop down another inch. Take this off. What is keeping this from depressing all the way down the plates? Yeah, I remember seeing the Black 13th, and they were like little tiny child-sized models. It's all coming apart now. Yeah. The little skulls falling off. Oh, Nelly. Okay, maybe stop fiddling. Okay, problem solved. I think I'm going to call it here for the night since this is going to take forever to cure. Hope you have a good night. Please leave a like and turn the bell on or whatever it is YouTubers say. They get to press the little alert thing, dude. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.